This
Good.
conference will now be recorded.
Hope you don't mind being recorded.
Not at all.
All right, morning, everybody. I'm just going to do just a quick intro. Unless, Amine, did you want to say something, or are you okay if I just get started?
Please go ahead, April.
Okay. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Family Business Association. I've been a member for 3 years. It has been the membership that has really allowed Simplicity to grow their business in Nova Scotia above all other memberships that we're in and associations we belong to. We have excellent events in pre-COVID world, but in post-COVID world, we're doing events like this online, which allow us to get connected with other business owners and to hear what's happening with everyone, to stay connected, which is really the mission of the association. So this morning, I am going to lead the discussion, but please feel free to put your questions in the chat or just jump in. I don't mind. I think I'd like to have a conversation. Oh, I did also want to put in a plug that on Tuesday, October 6th, we're having another coffee chat where we're going to talk about the benefits of joining family business, how to leverage your membership. So if you know anyone who's thinking about joining or someone you think would benefit from joining, please direct them to that webinar, and I'm sure we will be sending out the information email anyway. So good morning, everyone. I'm so happy today to have the opportunity to speak to Nevell, and he and I spoke last week, and I said, this is going to feel a little weird for you and I, because we've had some conversations before, but I want all of you to get to know him. So we're going to talk about how he got into the business world, and we're going to talk about what's happened since COVID, and just have a good conversation, and then we're going to talk about family business, because he is in the family business. So maybe we'll get started. Nevell, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your background, where you're from, and we'll get started that way.
Yeah, certainly. First of all, good morning, everyone. Pleasure to meet everyone. Different times, so it's getting used to these video conference calls, but I find them pretty cool to see all the different faces and things of that sort. But like April said, and thank you for Family Business Association for having me on for this convo. My name is Nevell Provo. I'm born and raised here in Nova Scotia, North Crescent to be exact. 24 years old, just finishing my degree at St. Mary University, where I also played basketball for a little bit. A little bit about myself, like I said, I'm a kind of all-around athlete all my life. So I played basketball, Division I basketball in the States at Loyola University, Maryland for a bit. Played on Team Canada for a few years, and really just kind of submerged myself in the basketball world. And then around the little later ends of my career, just really had a passion for business, really had a passion for building my community, North Crescent, and I felt the best way to do that was through entrepreneurship and business, and we'll touch on that stuff a little later on. But I mean, that's kind of my story. I come from a strong family, 10 siblings. We were really, and a lot of them are involved in the business with us. And yeah, I'm a guy who really loves my community of North Crescent, loves sports, and I love business. So that's kind of the intro to me. And yeah.
Great, thank you. So tell us, how did you get the idea for the business, and when did that all start for you?
So the business, Smooth Meal Prep, started about around November 2018. So again, I was in the States for a bit, and there's a ton of meal services like ours in the States that being an athlete, I didn't have time to cook, so we would order our meals in. I came back here to Halifax and was kind of looking for a similar service as I was getting ready for my basketball season, and didn't really see it existing in the way that I seen it exist in the States. So my entrepreneurial mind automatically started to click. My mom, she has some chef experience. She cooked all her life. So at first I got her to start making me these healthy meals in the way that I was getting them when I was in the States. And pretty quickly, I started bringing some meals for a couple of my teammates, and started to use my social media and things of that sort to spread the word. And everyone was asking, where can I get these meals? So we did our beta, if you will, and really rolled it out to some friends and family, and they all loved it. And we really seen this model making sense. So I sat down with my mom. I said, hey, how do we continue to grow this? She only wanted 10 customers at first. Really just a little side job and to help pay for her trip. I was thinking bigger than that, but I kind of gave her yeah, well, we'll do 10, we'll do 10. And then I guess the next week we had about 15. And I'm like, are you going to say no to 5 people? So she didn't. And I mean, week after week, we continued to grow. Again, we started from her kitchen at home, moved into a recreation center, now into our own space, and we built our team of over 12 employees in our first year, and did about $100,000 in sales in that first year. So really quick, really grounds up, bootstrapping, really scrappy, and I mean that's kind of how it started. Just a natural thing of there was a problem and no one was solving the problem for myself. I seen other people around me that the problem wasn't solved for, and I had some of the tools around me. Luckily, my mom can cook pretty well, and we made it happen.
That's awesome. So how big are you thinking? So you have, I have so many questions I want to ask you at the same time. So
hmm hmm
what is your, like, in 3 years, where do you see this?
Definitely thinking big. Myself, I always been a dreamer. So when it was basketball at age 12, I wrote down that I wanted to enter the NBA draft. And, that was pretty big for a guy from Nova Scotia. I never seen anyone around me do that before. It was just kind of a dream that I had. And, I didn't get to the NBA, but I got to Division 1. I was one of the first guys from, around here, played for Team Canada. So, was able to kind of make some strides. So the same thing with this business. I see this as a service that can expand across Canada, especially in the next 3 years. I don't really see anyone in the Maritimes, especially in this niche market, really having a foothold in the market, and especially across Canada as well. There's no really go-to meal prep. There's a few in Toronto, there's a few out west, but no one kind of nationally across Canada really solidifying and holding that place. So I definitely see Good Meal Prep as being that go-to household name for healthy meal delivery, across Canada.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced? Let's talk pre-COVID. Let's pretend that doesn't exist right
hmm
now. And tell me, what were some of your biggest business challenges before?
So I mean, as a startup entrepreneur, I'm sure we're all familiar with a ton of challenges. There's challenges every day. So I heard a good quote once where entrepreneurs are firefighters, and every day we're just coming in trying to fight fires. So problems every day, but that's also where we thrive. But some of the big things that stand out when I hear that, first, again, we're really involved in the community, so one of our mandates was to hire within our community of North Crescent Place. If you're familiar with that, it's dealt with a lot of different challenges, whether through violence, lack of education, all these different things that we can go into a different time. But with that, we wanted to create this business to be a staple and a pillar in the community, to provide jobs, to provide opportunities, to really be a shining light of, hey, you can do something. So, a lot of that we all of our 11 employees, were strategically and intentionally picked from our community. So with that comes some challenges. Very comfortable and familiar place, but that also can be negative on the sides of, I remember times when there was a wedding the night before, and North Crescent is a very close-knit group. So everyone's at the wedding, and then the next morning we get a call like, hey, we can't make it in. We're all sick. It's like, no, we've seen you at the wedding. So that type of stuff of dealing with, very familiar people that are really close to you. And then on the back end, when it came time when I know we had to let a younger guy go, just really wasn't pulling the socks, and we really just wanted to, we had to continue to build. And having that conversation, I'm close friends with his mom. I still see him every other day, so getting to that place of having to part ways was super challenging. So I think just the part around managing the team that's so close to home, having to make those tough decisions and things of that sort. And then, more on the business side of things, again, being first year, and then I think the meal prep and meal business itself, everyone always talks about the slim margins. So just working in that space, for me, again, coming from North Preston, and being one of the first people to start a business, people think I have $1 million already, and it's like, nope, that's not really the case. And dealing with those, slim margins, definitely makes it a challenge. So continue to try to see profit. That's what we're in the game for, increasing those profit margins and really making this thing make sense. So, we're lucky we got great people like Simplicity we're doing some work with to really nail down those numbers and really provide value to our customers to increase that gap. But yeah, I think off the top of my head, those are the main things that I constantly I'm fighting with and really trying to make work.
Yeah. And so then March, the world sort of flips upside down. What happened in your world when people tried to go virtual? Like, how did that work in your business?
So for us, a little bit different than most people, and it's. I was on a talk the other day, and they were like, "Oh man, you guys did so great to be able to grow." I was like, "Yeah, but I think part of it's luck around being in the service we're in." I'll take the credit though, but immediately, we had like maybe half of our orders be canceled in like the first, and that piece around it, for me, it was okay. Let me reach out to the customers. Let me see what's going on. Let me really get a sense of what's happening here. And a lot of people just uncertainty. We'll smooth meal prep. You got to keep your doors open. Half the time we didn't even know. I'm just kind of waiting for messages to come down the board. We some of our customers, they're being laid off their jobs, so they don't know if they can afford, the service going further. So again, that was kind of in the first week. We heard some of that stuff, and we quickly shifted our gears, shifted our offerings. So one of the things we offered was a family meal plan. So some of our currently when you would get a meal, it would be 12 individual meals for yourself. So we talked to one of our customers who had a family. He said, I won't be able to afford this for myself anymore, as I'm gonna have to feed my whole family and really think of that. So we really catered our offerings to things of that sort. And then kind of, as the weeks went on, and people seeing that we were still open, we really emphasized the cleanliness in the kitchen already. You have to be on top of that, but doubling down during these times, things like contactless delivery and our new offerings. Throughout, kind of during the mid of COVID, we actually seen about a 15 to 20% growth at this month than compared to last year. And again, that's pieces of people being home, not wanting to go grocery shopping. Our model was kind of set to fit that delivery. And like I said, doing and switching to things like contactless delivery and really, taking advantage of everyone's home now, people working out from home, and how do I stay healthy and, have meals come to me while I'm at home. And we really, locked in on that part. Like I said, we actually seen some growth during those windy and troubling times for most people.
So Nevell, when you were younger, you aspired to, you said be in the NBA. Like, did you also have this idea for yourself that you would own a business one day, or is that something that came later?
I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit, and always been entrepreneurial. So my mom always tells me the story. When I was 4 years old, she used to work at this home for kids. So, one day I asked her for like $5 to get some candy or something, pizza lunch at school. And she's like, "Oh, not this week. You've been getting a pizza lunch every week." I'm like, "You got to make your own money." So I'm like, "Okay, well, I might have been 5 or 6 or whatever the age." I'm like, "Okay, well, how do I make my own money?" So I went to my uncle's garden. He had a garden, potatoes, cucumbers, all kind of stuff. I went and got some potatoes from his garden. Don't know if I asked permission, but I got the potatoes. Then I took those potatoes to my mom's work and asked her to let me speak to her coworkers and sold the potatoes for $1. Again, I was 4 or 5 years old, and that was just natural for me. I don't know how I priced the potatoes at $1. Super good margins there, as I got the product for free. But that type of stuff at age 5, and then I remember another story around age 10 or 8 in school, similar stuff. Kids were using these kind of slingshots. No one knew how to make them except one guy. I asked the one guy how he made them, and I went. He had a balloon and a bottle cap. I asked my mom to buy me some balloons. I cut off a bunch of bottle caps down in my basement. I had a little lab, and went to school and sold them for $2. And I made about $25, $26 that day, and you know, good to have money of my own that I created. So all throughout my whole life, I've always been little stories like that where I've seen a problem and attacked a problem. And, as I start to get older and, through high school and reading a bit more and really understanding what entrepreneurship was, I definitely start seeing myself, as owning some form of business, however that looked like. Never really thought I would be creating a business from zero and building it, but uh, yeah, the entrepreneurship has, I think, was kind of ingrained in me and in my DNA
Mhm.
from early days for sure.
And so, who would you say were your role models?
Definitely had a good amount of role models coming up. One would definitely be my older brother. Always been kind of a coach in my life, a trainer for through basketball, and then now we work together in business, and kind of everything we do is together. My mom, definitely a role model, just someone super supportive, super tough, always pushing me. I remember I got a C in French class, and I came home like I always was an A student. I got one C, and I showed her, she's like, "Why did you get a C?" I'm like, "Well, the rest of my kids in the class got D, so I'm doing pretty good." She's like, and just lessons like that. She was still upset with me and gave me a crucial lesson of, you're not in it to compete with other people. You want the best for yourself always. So stuff like that all my life, just real gems. And then apart from my family, the late Kobe Bryant was a real inspiration for me, just in basketball, but the way he presented himself, always accepting nothing but greatness, his work ethic. He was a guy who competed and gave his all to the game he loved and to his life. So, a guy like that definitely was a huge inspiration and role model for me for sure.
So, you want to talk a little bit about the family dynamics in operating a business and some of
Yeah,
challenges
yeah.
with
So
that?
definitely challenging as I'm on a chat with all family business members. I'm sure everyone knows here. But especially for me being the younger brother and son and being the CEO or owner or whatever you want to operator or whatever we want to call that. And my mom and brother being my partners, but at the same time too kind of me leading the charge there. So again, those are two people who are my role models, and my brother always being someone who I look up to, now having to take a leadership role there is challenging. So, there's times where, my whole life, for them being my role model, I always kind of look to impress them. So, coming into a business, you can see how that would be challenges. I remember early on, there was months where we didn't do the best, and I was kind of reserved with presenting the numbers because I always wanted to impress. And I quickly had to get that kind of stuff out of my head to understand, here are my partners, here's a team. I have to lead this team. I'm not here to impress them. I'm here to help us all grow and build and things of that sort. So, those challenges of, you know, be just working together every day. There's some days I want to, we kickbox and box for sports. So some days I want to get in the ring with my brother and just give him a right hook to the chin. Some stuff like that. But through all of that, is obviously we know how rewarding it is for sure. And then there's other parts where my little sister, she kind of is our social media and creative genius. But challenges with her as well, being a baby of the family. Sometimes feeling like we're all against her and her ideas, and no one ever wants to hear. So all those little family dynamics that would exist at the dinner table now are existing in business. So really figuring out how do we manage all of that, navigate through that, and again take the good of it, really lean in on that, and some of the other stuff. Because again, the same way the family table crosses over to the business stuff crosses over to the family. So really trying to separate it. When there's times of we might not be getting along. When we come into business, it's no longer mom, brother. It's here's our role. Here's what we play in this business. And when we come home, then we can wear those, family hats and just really try to keep the two as separate as possible. And I'm sure you all can agree it's very challenging because, we live this every day. But just really trying to find, and I appreciate and I'm really happy that I can be a part of a group like this, and I'm excited for the future. So I can hear, how you guys deal with because we're new in it and we're still figuring out day by day. So yeah, just really excited to learn as much as possible and navigate it as great and as good as we can.
And you touch on a good point that it's great to have a network of people to talk to who are going through some of the same issues that you're going through. Let's talk a little bit about that. What support has been out there for you? When did you start? How many years are you in business now?
So we're headed to our second year. In November will be our 2-year anniversary for that. Yeah, so yeah,
Great.
yeah, for sure.
And only a couple little challenges here with the worldwide pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess what supports have you been able to access? What's out there that's been helpful? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, first off, my community has been huge. Again, being a prominent member in the community, being one of the first businesses in the community, and we really push that, and and welcome people. So the support there has been humongous. People really root for us and really look to push up and elevate us as much as possible, whether it's whatever the case is. People find a way to try to give and help for us. And then other parts, SMU, me being a SMU student, the overall experience is tremendous, from the classes I take to the professors to the extracurricular, and then one of the greatest gems in Nova Scotia, the SMU Entrepreneurship Center, has been huge for me. I joke all the time. I probably owe them about $200,000. Still waiting on an invoice, just a free consulting and things of that sort. So hopefully, I see Michael here. Maybe hopefully they wait till I get up a little bit more to send that invoice over. But and for them, like I said, through pitch experience, website developing. One of my mentors, Greg Curran, has been through the Entrepreneurship Center, a guy who, obviously built something humongous and one of the more successful entrepreneurs in Nova Scotia history. To be able to have access to someone like that and kind of for direction and challenges and things of that sort, and just someone to see, he was an athlete, he's a SMU guy, and here's what he built. So that motivation, definitely. And then in Nova Scotia in general, and in Halifax specifically, I think I've been telling anyone that's looking to start a business, now is probably the greatest time, just because of all of the ecosystem is catered and is very helpful to entrepreneurship. So organizations like this vote to all these different places where people are looking to build and create communities around entrepreneurs. Yeah, but where was I? So yeah, I mean the space in general, is definitely great. Like I said, I've been doing some work with Simplicity, and a ton of organizations like this across the city that have been there and have know the know and are really willing to spread and share that information for sure.
And so do you have advice for other people who are thinking about starting a business, or for other business owners that you'd like to share?
A question that I find myself, because kind of, again, in my community, a lot of people now see us in this role and really reach out with those questions. And, my first piece of advice is to just go. It sounds cliche, the Nike just do it, but I see a lot of people, especially my generation now, they need all their ducks aligned and then some more. So it's, I'm taking 2 months to find a name. I'm taking 4 months to find a product. I'm taking, like I said, we just, okay, here's the problem. Okay, let's solve the problem. Then we'll figure the rest of the stuff out as we go. So that first piece of just, step out there and in this ecosystem, everyone wants $1 million in funding and all these different things, which is great if that works. But the first piece we got to solve here in business is, are we really solving the problem? And the sooner we get to that, and the sooner we can communicate with customers and solve a problem for them, the better. So that piece, and then another piece is put yourself out there and really, especially if you're here in Halifax, take advantage of all of the whether it's funding, all of the organizations, all of the different people that are willing to help, because there are a lot of them. Like I said, places like the Small Entrepreneurship Center, Simplicity Design, the Family Business Association, all these places where a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, access to funding, all these different things, and they're there, but just really taking that step to, ask the right questions and get in front of these people that are willing to help you and can definitely go a long way sometimes when you need it, right? So those would probably be my main two big pieces of advice.
That's great. You remember when we started this, I said to everyone, hey, if you have questions, jump in or put them in the chat box. And I'm just now seeing a whole bunch of questions in the chat box. So sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
I just want to open that up. So are the big box meal delivery providers like HelloFresh major competitors to you? That's the first question.
Good question. A different model for sure, where they do the meal kits where you still have to cook yourself. And our model is heat and eat it. So we provide fresh meals, already packaged individual meals that you would stick in the microwave or in the oven for 2 minutes or so and eat. And again, our meals being more fitness focused, so we track macros. We are helping you with fitness goals. If you are someone that are in the gym, or our meals are branded around athletes and fitness. So a different model, but still some form of competitors. A lot of people, when they reach out, they say, "Hey, I tried HelloFresh, and etc. We're looking to try this." Again, a lot of our about 95 to 90% of our customers have tried services like HelloFresh before. So a little bit indirect, but same lane where there's meals delivered to your door for sure. And like I said, most people have tried them before and it might not have worked for them. And this is what they want to try today. So
Okay, so next, thank you for that. Congrats on your rapid growth. What is the overt benefit to your model that will make it competitive with the established brands? Yeah. Sounds to me like
so I mean, to double down on that, really just being the different model of fresh meals, where it's even less, again, we're dealing with people, most of the busiest people who don't even have time to cook for themselves. So, those models of all the ingredients here, I still have to take an hour to cook it and then do dishes and all that stuff. We're in the convenience game, and we're really just doubling down on that convenience of taking every step of eating out of your life, from grocery shopping to cooking to cleaning, even thinking about what you have to eat, and tracking your calories and macronutrients. So that's kind of where we really separate ourselves.
Okay. And so we have another question. Roughly how many members or subscribers do you have now?
So we're currently at about 50 to 60 weekly is kind of what we operate at. And yeah, I mean that's kind of the weekly number that we, you know, stay within that range. Some weeks it's higher, some weeks lower, but that's pretty much the average for right now.
And how far out will you deliver, like distance wise?
We deliver anywhere in the HRM, so we go to Fall River, Timberley, Eastern Pass, Eastern Pass, Porter's Lake. This way more towards Dartmouth. So yeah, in the HRM region.
And so, do you have plans to expand delivery? And if so, like how do you do that?
Yes, I mean that's kind of where our head is, currently around expanding that delivery first across Nova Scotia, and then definitely the Atlantic. So looking at a few different models currently. Some models would do shipping, overnight shipping. Like, there's a lot of companies in the States that would do overnight shipping across the country. And then, other models being more of a franchise type E model where we have a kitchen here, and kind of, work around the area from there. So still iron out exactly what that model would look like. And I mean, if anyone here has any ideas or, insight around that, I'm always open to hear stuff there for sure, and would love to.
You're a long way from the 10 customers that your mom wanted.
Yeah, definitely a long way from there. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what else do we have here? Oh, Michael from SMU Entrepreneurship Center says, thanks for the shout out, but it's all you. Happy we get to be part of your amazing accomplishments.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So here's another question. Given the current Black Lives Matter movement, has there been extra support from the HRM business community? Great question.
Yeah, very good question. So we have two businesses, Smooth Meal Prep and R&B Kitchen. My actual thing is saying R&B Kitchen. R&B Kitchen we started in February, and it's more of a takeout soul food restaurant. The reason why I bring that up because early on with Smooth Meal Prep, we kind of wanted to be faceless. We wanted the brand to speak, and that was a little bit of, fears. So for me, coming from North Preston, early on in life, dealing with a lot of challenges in Halifax around, pretty blatantly racism. And I left here at about 14 to go play basketball in the States. Coming back here early on, my thoughts of Halifax were still kind of around that. We had in those days challenges of with different clubs and not being allowed in certain clubs and being turned down. And I played hockey and I was called the N-word, playing with a bunch of different, playing with white kids and being only black guy on the team. Coming back here, those are still my visions of the city. After 2 years, I've seen it's a much different place. But early on, those were the thoughts. So for us, it was people be comfortable with a black people running this business and delivering them food. So that was one of our thoughts and fears, and we made it deliberately the brand to be faceless. If you look on our social media, you might see some stuff, but early on you would see nothing around this being a black business. So with that being said, during once the Black Lives Matter movement kind of happened, Smooth Meal Prep didn't really see anything different just because, again, it was pretty faceless. But for our other business, R&B Kitchen, that, kind of thrives on being a black business. One, the food we make is black, soul food. It's more for the community. We definitely seen a uptake there, different things like Buy Black Halifax box that was done. And, just other people just looking to reach out and support and, find black businesses for sure.
And so what advice would you give to the business community still on this topic in terms of what can we all do as business owners or members of the community besides supporting Black businesses? Is there any other advice you can give?
Yeah, I've got this question a few times too. I think, you know, this time has definitely caused a lot of people to reflect, especially in the business community. People looking to help and support any way they can. And, you know, again, me kind of being a person that, you know, other business owners would see have access and might have insight around this question. So I've been asked this question quite a few times. And I think, you know, the first step is the fact that people are asking, reaching out and wanting to know what can we do to help. It's a huge issue, and I don't have the answers for the grand issue at all. I guess we're all still trying to figure that out. But you know, for what we can do and what everyone in this business community can do, I think it's, you know, just being able to have that perspective and, you know, representation. Everyone talks about representation. So for us, you know, me being very sport and male dominant, you know, everyone I wanted to hire was males, and then, you know, we look in our meetings and it's 7 or 8 guys, and then my mom, and then we wonder why our perspective is, you know, very limited. So we need more women in the workplace, right? So the same thing for these businesses. You know, we need more representation racially in these rooms and in our offices and workplaces to have a perspective and to be able to understand the issues. So you know, that would kind of be my recommendation, and then, you know, from there, just always understanding that, you know, our views aren't the only views, and you know how we see things. Just because we there's a lot of things that we've told ourselves our whole lives that we believe to be true, but if we start to unpack some layers, there's a lot of stuff we don't see, a lot of biases, a lot of you know, different type of ideas and systems that create issues that we don't see. So just being aware of that, and then just trying to lend a hand. The rest, human instincts will kick in for the rest of the part, you know, as we navigate through that stuff.
Okay. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add? Any questions? And oh, no?
I got something there.
I've really enjoyed the conversation this morning. So I really thank you for your time. I love what you're building. I love that it's not just about business and profit margin, it's about building community. I really love that. And the leadership role that you've taken is really inspiring. And I'm really happy to have you join Family Business and to give us the opportunity to learn more about you this morning. And yeah, so thank you so much.
No, thank you, much appreciated. You know, and to you guys and everyone else as well. Yeah, I just appreciate always the support and the you know, openness of, you know, allowing people like myself to enter these, you know, type of organizations and be surrounded by inspiring people. So much appreciated, and keep up the great work for sure.
Hi, Neville.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, thanks. I'm Amine Musavi, president of the association, and I just really wanted to thank you for coming online today to share your story. You're definitely an inspiration to all entrepreneurs, and it just goes to show you how every successful business really just starts with an idea. I really love how you've taken advantage of the support system around you. You mentioned doing some mentoring with this new entrepreneurial center and with April at Simplicity and having a mentor. So really, I think you've become a role model to many young entrepreneurs. So on behalf of Family Business Atlantic, I just wanted to congratulate you on your growth and on your success. And as you know, we will be honoring your achievements on October 15th at the Family Business Awards. And the award that you're receiving, Young Entrepreneur of the Year, is very deserving. So just wanted to congratulate you on that. You did mention that you are in the convenience game, and I can definitely attest to that because I'm in the real estate world and I see so many realtors and people in my industry walking around with your meals coming into the Royal LePage office, heating up their lunches. So yeah, and I myself, I'm looking forward to trying it out as well.
Certainly.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for sharing your story, and I look forward to seeing you on October 15th. And for everybody else on the call, I just wanted to let you know that on October 6th, as April mentioned, we invite you to come online. We're going to be having a conversation on how you can leverage your membership with Family Business Atlantic. We want to show you how you can grow your business, how we can connect you with other successful businesses. Our members, we're here to address your family challenges and to share your success and to basically plan for the future of your business. So please join us on October 6th, and we'll be giving you some more information about what value a family business membership can have for you. I also wanted to let you guys know that we're very excited to launch our very first online family business holiday gift auction. And the purpose of this gift auction is to raise funds for our association. And we're really going to be promoting the support local business theme. And we hope that many of our members and other local businesses can contribute to items. And these items, of course, can be purchased as holiday gifts. We will be promoting the donors of the gifts on our website and, of course, through our social media channels. So we really want to encourage everyone to buy local, especially during these challenging times. And of course, it's a great way to pick up some holiday gifts and support our association. So we're going to be sending out some more details on this event. But if you would like to donate any items to the auction, you can please reach out to Michelle, and she'll be able to help you with that. Finally, I just invite you all to continue joining our coffee chats. As you can see, people like Nevell have a wonderful story to share, something that we can all learn from. And we will be sending out our calendar of events, so you can join our next coffee chat. But also share and like Family Business Atlantic on Facebook and LinkedIn. That's also a platform where you can keep updated with all of our events. So I just wanted to thank you, April, for facilitating this wonderful conversation, and again to Nevell and for all of you for joining the call. And we look forward to seeing you at the next coffee chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone.